So, the other day on Facebook, I saw a message with a little bit of a challenge. It said, most of us don't like the sequel trilogy. So, what would you do if you had to use the same characters and write the story? The rules. I have to keep the names of the characters, their looks. Well, like if it's a white guy, stays a white guy, a black guy, stays a black guy, that type of thing. Their like the planet names if I use a planet. The names of the movies, so it's supposed to be Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. And I have to make my own trilogy. Now I'm just going to do part one. If this thing gets like views and that, I'll do Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, but they're already planned. I'm just not going to bother with the videos if they're not popular. So, let's start with Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Ben Solo on a First Order ship enters with a group of stormtroopers following him. He is decked out in all black, and he has a purple lightsaber activated. Don't let them escape, he yells. And they shoot at an escaping TIE fighter. The ship escapes, but smoke comes out of it, and it crashes to a nearby planet, now under First Order control. Rey, a loser from a desert planet on the really outer rim, comes across a downed TIE fighter with a stormtrooper and a resistance pilot in it. She pulls them both out, but since she's been brainwashed since she was a little child, like the rest of her planet, to believe the First Order is good, she takes better care of this trooper. She lives in the middle of nowhere because she's a social outcast, so she can't call for help for the trooper. The trooper Finn wakes up in Rey's cave. He is really a Jedi Padawan, the student of General Luke Skywalker. He went on the mission with his best friend Poe, and the two barely got out with their lives. Poe's droid, who is with them, has been painted black badly. BB-8 holds the secrets to the First Order ships. General Solo was kidnapped by his son, Ben, who is now working for Snoke, who is really Darth Plagueis. Plagueis knows Luke will come to save Han, and that Luke Skywalker is the only thing in the universe strong enough to stop him. Plagueis used the Force to manipulate the weak-minded Ben Solo to the dark side. Ben tried to fight and kill Luke, but failed, barely getting away with his life. Now he has donned a mask and a suit to keep him alive, like his grandfather, Darth Vader. Finn plays along with Rey, making her think he's with the First Order, and says Poe is an important prisoner and he needs to keep him alive. Together they bond, and when Poe awakens, they go to leave, but Rey follows them. Can she be trusted? They sneak into town and steal a ship. Rey sneaks aboard before they take off. Rey overhears Finn and Poe talking about the Resistance, and BB-8 pops Finn's lightsaber out of him, and she yells at the top of her lungs, "Traitors to the First Order!" She tries to send a signal to the First Order, but Finn and Poe attack and Jedi mind trick her into believing they are good. The three go to Coruscant, and Rey is imprisoned in the Jedi Temple, which Luke has reclaimed. General Skywalker is happy to see his Padawan alive. He is saddened by the two's report and the loss of Solo. Luke goes into a chamber to consult the Jedis of old on their next move. Anakin Skywalker tells his son of the monster that is waiting for him. Master Yoda confirms it, and Luke knows if he saves Han, he'll have to face Plagueis, whose real name happens to be Snoke. Anakin tells his son how Snoke survived his attack from Palpatine, and he kept himself alive with the dark side. Snoke has the power to avoid death. BB-8 tells C-3PO that he downloaded the First Order's passwords and blueprints when they were on their flagship. Luke tells his Padawan the plan, but he has to stay behind. Plagueis would know Luke was there, and would blow the mission. Getting Han, Chewie, and the Falcon back is what's important. Luke tries to tell him to capture Ben alive. Leia, who's wearing a lightsaber, says her son is dead and beyond saving. Anakin tells Luke through the Force, I wasn't. No one is ever really gone. The small rescue party includes Finn, Poe, BB-8, who's still painted, and a mechanic, Rose Tico. They take a captured TIE fighter and fly it to the lead ship to rescue Han and the Falcon, which, thanks to BB, they now know is being held on this ship as well. Rose and Poe are seen looking at one another longingly and even hold pinkies across the aisle. Rey, locked in her cell, uses the Force to unlock the door and get out, but is stopped by Leia. Leia asks Rey how she knows how to do that. She tells her that her parents, as well as the village she lived in, thought she was a freak for having these powers, so she ran away at a young age and lived in the forest. Finn and company board the ship, and Ben can feel his old rival. He activates his purple lightsaber, and it is slowly turning red. When you are truly one with the dark side, my apprentice, your saber will bleed red. Snoke tells him through a hollow communication. Skywalker is not there, but kill the boy. Poe, BB, and Rose go after the center of the ship. They are going to make it self-destruct. Finn goes to get Solo. When going to get Han, Finn finds Chewbacca and another prisoner, a codebreaker that calls himself DJ. He was going to leave DJ, but this is not the Jedi way. The three go and finally find Han, but Ben is waiting for them when they set him free. Poe and company get to the center of the ship and they set it to blow up by remote. But when they go to leave, they are stopped by an elite group of troopers led by Captain Phasma. They get into a laser fight and Poe and Rose are separated. Finn and Ben fight. They are evenly matched with the lightsaber and the Force. Poe's hand is shot and the controller is damaged. Poe is also shot in the back while trying to get to Rose. Rose tells BB to record a message and then she sends him off to Poe. The First Order doesn't attack BB because he is painted black like their droids. Rose pulls at the wires and locks herself and the troopers on one side and Poe on the other. While BB was on his way to get to Poe, he is blown up, but his head is sent flying to Poe's side. Inside is his memory. Poe rushes to the door and screams Rose, but he can't get to her. She is trapped down. The troopers can't get to her, but she can't escape. From where she is, she can blow the ship. She grabs a hold of her necklace, a half moon, and looks up at the stars and starts the sequence. Finn wins the fight and removes Ben's arm. He goes to kill him, but Han stops him. They leave Ben on the ground, and Finn takes Ben's saber as a prize. Finn, Han, and Co. find Poe, and before they leave for the Falcon, they hear the self-destruct sequence start over the intercom. Poe grabs BB's head before they leave. They get on the Falcon, and as they escape, Poe plays Rose's message. Poe, you are my world. You saved me from the slavers and taught me everything I know about engines. You gave me freedom, but more importantly, you gave me love. I was going to tell you this when we made it out safely. But I guess now it's too late. The screen flashes back to Rose holding her necklace, and she says, I'm pregnant. Poe starts crying as the Falcon is under attack. Finn and DJ man the guns while Han and Chewbacca fly the ship. Poe holds his necklace. It's the other half of the moon. As the counter clocks down to 0, Rose says, For the Republic. The ship explodes and Snoke's face is seen and the explosion is contained. From that far away, Snoke is that strong in the dark side. When they land on Coruscant, Han and Leia reunite and sulk over the loss of their son. Poe works on BB-8 and sets his head on an R2 unit's body. As he works on BB-8, the droid sparks and Rose's voice comes out of it. Master Poe? Poe had painted the other half of the moon on BB's new body. Luke addresses the Senate and tells them that the Sith has returned, and begins to tell them the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Finn walks up to Rey and hands her Ben's saber. It now has gold training locks on it. Welcome home, Rey. She smiles and activates the purple blade. Thank you, Master Finn, she smiles at him. I'm not a master yet. Poe stands there looking angrily at Finn and Rose as he grips his new robotic hand into a fist. On Mustafar, Ben is getting a red mechanical arm. A hand in a jar is spotted in the background with a small little alien Maz Kanata draped all in black, Standing behind it, crouching out, tanks full of Luke Skywalker clones are filled in the background, as well as clones of Palpatine. An old man walks over and hands Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber to Ben. Take your grandfather's saber, and take your place by my side, Darth Ren. Ben, now named Darth Ren, takes the blade and activates it. The blade turns blood red as he holds it in front of his face. The blade's activation is felt by all Force users in the galaxy. My son is truly gone, says Leia as she is held by Han. The end of Episode 7. So, what'd you guys think? Do you want to know what happens in Episode 8, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker, or nah, you're good with the movie we got? In all honesty, I only don't like The Last Jedi, but, I thought this was fun to see how I would actually write these things. Because, I made posts calling out the guy who did what if the prequels were good. But, I've actually proven I can write. I've written novels. I talk about them all the time, no one really cares. So I can make my own stories. You think you can do better? I've written my own. This is just kind of like fan fiction, in my opinion. It's not to be taken seriously or anything, but still. I thought it was a good yarn. What'd you think? Comment down below, like and share if you want to, and have a good one.